a good friend of mine that I have made at the end of last year, I think, is a manga artist, and one of the things that she likes to write is yaoi. And one thing, she has real problems with a lot of yaoi because, in her opinion, it isn't well written. It's not good stuff. It's silly, it's cheesy, and it really doesn't have any intellectual muscle behind it. So she wants to try to write something that's legitimately good. Something that's still yaoi, but something that's good. So she has a fair amount of material, and she let me borrow this, which is called Little Butterfly. According to her, this is a not so bad one. It was written by Hinako Takanaga. And I gotta say, if this is the not so bad stuff, I kind of shudder a bit at what the really bad stuff is. Okay, so this wasn't terrible, but let me put it to you this way. I could drink a gin and tonic and forget I ever read this. It just left no impression on me at all, because really, yeah, I've never read or watched yaoi before, but I am pretty familiar with anime at this point. And I've seen everything that's in this story somewhere else before. It's been reformatted and into yaoi. Example. The blonde kid is named Kojima, and he is a lot like Yuki from Vampire Knight. We're just, offbeat, a little ditzy, but just sweet and entirely well-meaning. Which is interesting because, like, when I watched Vampire Knight, I thought that it was like self-insert kind of stuff. And I think that can be applied to this too. Like, obviously it's girls that are reading this, but I think that there still can be a level of insert fantasy, even if the person they're inserting themselves into, is a guy, is a male character. But, like, a lot of Kojima's behavior is really gendered female behavior that I've seen in, shoujo leads, in a lot of shoujo leads, or in a lot of female characters even, in anime. Just, like, being sweet and nice seems to really be their only motivation. And it certainly is, like, Kojima's only motivation in this thing. Like, he just wants to make... What the fuck is that guy's name? Nakahara. God. I only read this last night and I can barely remember what the hell the name of the leads are. Don't ask me to remember the names of any of the other characters, because I don't remember them. But anyway, Nakahara is the dark-haired dude, and even though they don't have sex in this one, you can tell which one's the top and which one's the bottom. Okay, so right, like, he's, like, brooding and like, vaguely mysterious, I guess. But, like, Kojima, like, just wants to make him smile. Like, there isn't any sexual intent at the start of this thing. And that's it. Like, that's really his only motivation, and boy, is that boring. Okay, so right. So, it plays out pretty much just how you would imagine. Nakahara, the reason why he's brooding and all that crap is, and can't get along with other people, is because he has a messed up home life, and his dad, like, hits him and his mom thinks he's crazy. Like, at the start of this thing, like, I don't even know how many pages in. Like, I'm pretty sure in the first freaking chapter, like, it's just really, like, it's just laid on us so, it's just laid on, like, so thick, so quickly. Like, you know, Kojima and Nakahara are walking, and you know, he says, and, you know, Kojima, the small blonde guy, says, after that, we talked about so many things, about how Nakahara's father hits him, his mother's mental illness, and even his attempts to run away from home. Like, no lead-in, nothing. That's just dumped on you. It's like, dumped on you. Feel sympathy, people. Feel sympathy. This guy has a messed up life, you know. I'm not even going to give you any other reason to be sympathetic towards him except for his messed up life. You know, it's just so forced and contrived. Like, there's nothing natural about the way that this story is written. It doesn't even matter that it's a yaoi, you know, from a romance perspective. And good romance is so hard to find, you know? Anyway, so right, and it's just, everybody in this damn thing is so one note. Like, you know, like, Nakahara, or Nakahara, what's that guy? Nakahara, like, his father is just a douchebag who, you know, acts like his son is a burden versus, you know, trying to get his wife any kind of help that she obviously needs. You know, and his mom is just kind of a crazy bitch, and the reason why she went crazy is because Nakahara didn't get into, like, the middle school that he was supposed to get into, I guess. I mean, I know, like, to us, that sounds really, really stupid, but, you know, in a way, I get it, because in Japan, because it's an Eastern culture, an individual's failure is a family's failure, and an individual's success is a family's success. And usually, like, if you know, if you're not where you're supposed to be in life, you know, according to your peers around you, like in Eastern societies, they don't look at you. They look at your family. They say, oh, there must be something wrong with that family versus something wrong with that person. So it's a lot of collective pressure on the collective versus pressure on the individual. But right, and, you know, like, trying to get into, like, I tried to see past, you know, my own westernness to get into the headspace where something like that, you know, might be legitimate, but still, it sounds too dumb for me to look past it, you know? And, like, one thing, although, that really legitimately bothered me, oh yeah, and Kojima's parents are in this too, and, like, his mom is nice, and his dad is nice, and that's really it. Again, to talk about the one-noteness of all of the characters. Yeah, but right, something that bothered me is when Nakahara and Kojima are kissing, and, like, Nakahara wants to, like, put his hand and, you know, take off Kojima's shirt, and he's like, no, you know, I don't want that yet. And, but then he said some crap like, oh no, you know, you're, you know, it's partly your fault, you know, you're too tempting. And Kojima even apologized for it. Like, oh god, I actually got a little mad at this, because, you know, that to me, it's like the same line of thinking where, like, if girls dress sexy, then they deserve to be raped. And, you know, so yeah, no, that's something, like, I couldn't even negotiate with myself, you know, from the perspective of an anthropologist in training. That is just something that, like, I red flagged as just being legitimately wrong. So, yeah, that's really it. I guess I could read the next volume after this, because, yeah, I guess I could, to see, you know, if it gets any better or gets any worse. But, yeah, not terrible. Really, not a whole lot to note. I guess everything that I could say about this I did. You know, pretty much all the bads are one-note characters, contrived romance, anime cliches just repackaged into yaoi. Like, nothing really good or that made me, will make me remember this, except for that it was more sexually charged than other stuff I read, which, like, really gets the feeling at some point these two characters are actually going to do it. So, yeah. Um, yeah, that's it, I guess. Okay. Auf Wiedersehen.